Hello and welcome to our Tuesday night live webinar, and it's good to welcome you at this late hour in the UK or early morning down yonder with Sister Miriam and our beloved little Molly, and welcome to those who've not logged in. Over the next 30 minutes, our hearts will be opened and we will ask the Divine to speak to our hearts and go within our heart, and trusting in the power of that love, we will be guided. We will be guided by the one who is and offered nourishment for the soul. We've called our webinars Gardening for the Soul. And just like ordinary gardening of the earth, you gather your tools with you as you prepare the soil before planting. Over the last few weeks and months here in our monastery garden, we've been ever so busy despite the weather, the inclement weather with winds and rain and bitterly cold winds from the north. We have prepared the soil by adding various mulches that we've made from recycling, compost, eggshells, grasses, and various other artifacts from the garden, even the leaves that have fallen from the trees, to create a rather rich leaf mold, all for the earth, in order to create a balance where it's neither too acid or too alkaline, and that the planting that we insert in the soil has a chance to survive. So we put a lot of emphasis on the preparation, rather than just stick a plant from its pot anywhere in the garden. And so it is with the spiritual journey. And my belief is very simple. The more you invest in your spiritual journey and listen to that heart and trust in what your heart is guiding you to do, even in the midst of rejection, criticism from soul friends, where they may not understand your journey, but they would rather sit in judgment on you. And that happens a lot as a Franciscan who embraces all faiths, especially when one comes across the traditional Christian, Catholic Christian, who says they're ecumenical, but not interfaith. For if they were interfaith, there would be a love, a compassion, an understanding, and a respect for all other beliefs, because we are all children of the one true loving God. And God's Spirit speaks to us all in a unique way. And I believe there is no such thing as the only religion, the only perfect religion, because religion is man-made. It was made by man to converse with God. Whereas like the great and the late Bede Griffiths, the great Benedictine, who found intimacy with God in an ashram in India, with the approval of his Benedictine superiors from the Benedictine community, he found the divine in the little things, in the in and the out breaths, in nature, in the rising of the sun, in the lunar cycle. For in the eyes of the divine, everything is perfection and everything is beautiful. But regrettably, as humans, we fall down so miserably. I know I have. And I know for many years, I thought I was all-encompassing. But I guess my old Catholic stuff would come to the fore, and I'd begin to sit in judgment. And I so repent of that judgment, because our Holy Father Pope Francis said, "Who am I to judge another?" That was like a loaded revolver to my heart, and it made me revisit that we're not here to sit in judgment on another. We are here to embrace all, even if we don't understand. For we give our misunderstandings to God in trust that Spirit will explain to us what the ego mind cannot comprehend. And because we are all one, spiritual gardening for the soul, when it embraces other beliefs in love, when it's willing to take that leap of faith and discern the voice of God speaking through their worship, their liturgy, their sacred teachings and documents, their poetry, their art and music, for me something happens. It's like putting a good, healthy humus or topsoil on your plants. It brings a richness that this world does not fathom or understand, nor can it, because Spirit chooses those whom God appoints and anoints, and not everybody is given the same gifts. We are each given specific gifts that are relevant for us in our divine seduction as we come closer and closer to our beloved. So let us for a moment just be still and ask ourselves, not our ego, but our heart, what does spiritual gardening mean for me? What are the tools that one can bring to caring for the soul? An important question, and allow the Spirit of God share with you what your tools are and what tools you need in order to cultivate your soul, and what predators to look out for. Like in the garden, I notice my runner beans have started to show. So I'm on the alert now, looking and waiting for the slugs to come and not eat, because I'll have to prevent that, but use a natural method rather than just kill them by poisoning them with chemicals, because our gardening lots here are organic. So we work with nature, and we work within that cycle where we respect life. But we must also protect the young, healthy seedlings, as we must protect the soul. So reflect on the sacred tools that you might need in order to enrich your soul and your soul's journey to God. I'm going to begin by reading from the late John O'Donoghue to bless the space between us. And we're going to reflect on his reflection for light. Light cannot see inside things. That is what the dark is for. Minding the interior, nurturing the draw of growth through places where death, in its own way, turns into life. In the glare of neon times, let our eyes not be worn by surfaces that shine with hunger made attractive. That our thoughts may be true light, finding their way into words which have the weight of shadow to hold the layers of truth, that we never place our trust in minds claimed by empty light, where one-sided certainties are driven by false desire. When we look into the heart, may our eyes have the kindness and reverence of candlelight, that the searching of our minds be equal to the oblique crevices and corners where the mystery continues to dwell, glimmering in fugitive light. When we are confined inside the dark house of suffering, that moonlight might find a window. When we become false and lost, that the severe noon light would cast our shadow clear. When we love, that dawn light would lighten our feet upon the waters. As we grow old, that twilight would illuminate treasure in the fields of memory. And when we come to search for God, let us first be robed in night, put on the mind of morning, to feel the rush of light spread slowly inside, the color and stillness of a found world. Excuse me. So let us reflect. Excuse me. And we just take a deep breath. And we breathe in the very essence of God. And we ask the Father, Mother God to speak to us directly, so that what we hear is kosher and not some other's preconceived idea or concept that may be rooted in fear. Excuse me. So be still now. And allow the breath of God blow over you, around you, and now through you. And just sense the rhythm of your own breathing. And be mindful that you are a beautiful child of God, that you are whole, that you are perfection, and that you are complete. Excuse me. Be still and be aware that on the spiritual path there is no right or wrong way, for there is only one way, and it is the way of the heart. A heart that listens to that still voice and doesn't waver through suffering or fear or anxiety or despair. It's an inner knowing, and it's only fed by the love of God. And that love comes to fruition, I believe, from a heart that has been surrendered totally, not confined to other people's fears or anxieties or what they may think of us, but surrendered to God as a love offering of our heart, because we belong to God and we were made for this, to sing the praises of God in the temple of love, the landscape. As you breathe in now, just allow yourself connect with the rhythm of your own breathing. And in your out-breath, release any tension or fear, tiredness, weariness, any judgmental attitudes that you might have towards your brother or sister, or maybe to a church or a religion, or someone who represents such, who may have corrupted your mind and your spirit, and left you in a place of codependency, where you must do as they say and not as they do. To live the spiritual life and to walk on that simple path, I believe Jesus, the gardener, asks us to walk the talk, to be bold, to be truthful, to respect, to love, to embrace. And now embrace who you are. Embrace the many blessings of who you are. And bless every part of you. Bless the down days, the days when you feel that life is an uphill struggle. A struggle that often catapults you into despair. I too have known that despair. And all we're guided to do is to let go and trust. And it's not something that comes easy immediately. It's something like the soil when we prepare it for the new plants. We have to till the soil. We have to break up the lumps of clay representing doubt and fear, unworthiness, self-loathing, despair. And then add a good mulch, God's love. And allow that love break down those particles that alienate us from the healing touch of Christ. Is that where you are at in your journey right now? Because if you are, there is hope. There's some pretty amazing food that we can purchase that lasts not a day or a week or a month, but a season, called Miracle Grow. But God's food is like Miracle Grow. It is there in the lean times to give us a booster, and it is there in the good times to keep us level and smooth and in tune with our heart. I can see you approaching the monastery gate, And I can see in your eyes that there's a hunger to be still. As I open the gate, we embrace one another and we look into each other's eyes, and there we see a loving God, a God who cares for each one of us, a God who is calling us to walk this path in trust. We embrace one another in brotherly and sisterly love, and we come in the knowledge that nothing can harm us unless we give it our power. And as we walk together in the monastery garden, we sit by Mother Mary, the Mother of Christ, who understood pain and rejection and fear and loss. The mother of all therapists and light workers alike. And she just welcomes us into her domain with Mother Earth, with Brother Sun and Sister Moon, and the angelic beings of the animal kingdom. We are welcomed to be still. And in the stillness, we embrace God through the elements, through the planting, through the sounds of chimes, metal and wood and feathers. And in the faint distance, we hear the monastery bell ringing, and its brother wind calling the animal kingdom to praise God. Let us join them, and let us relax with brother wind. Just be that beautiful child that you are. And remember, you are here not to please everybody, but here to please the divine in you. Be at peace now. And go with the rhythm of your breathing, and remember your first breaths, your sacred breaths, the Om. Let us do that together now as we chant the Om. Om. And again, Om. Breathe normally and relax. And God is present here, and He's called you by name to come, to seek shelter and refreshment for your soul. Breathe on us, O breath of God. Fill us with life anew, that we might love what Thou dost love, and do what Thou wouldst do. O breath of God, O sacred breaths, you are Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. flow through our weary bones and limbs and refresh us so that we can become the tools that you need to bring others back to that divine fold of love. And we come to you and say each morning, I come to do your will and to go wherever you need me. Amen. And we shall give the Lord Christ the last word and read, let me fill you with my love, my joy and my peace. These are glory gifts flowing from my living presence. Though you are an earthen vessel, I designed you to be filled with heavenly contents. Your weakness is not a deterrent to being filled with my spirit. On the contrary, it provides an opportunity for my power to shine forth more brightly from you. As you go through this day, trust me. As you go through this day, trust me to provide the strength that you need moment by moment. Don't waste energy wondering whether you are adequate for today's journey. My spirit within you is more sufficient to handle whatever this day may bring. That is the basis for your confidence. In quietness, spending time alone with me, and confident trust, relying on my sufficiency, for that is your strength. Amen. Let us hold those words of the Christ, and now let us allow the love of God water the words into our soul, just as we water the plants in our new vegetable plot. For water is the elixir of life, and the words we have received are the elixir for the soul. O Father, Mother God, unite us here so that we can be conduits of your love, for your love, in this beautiful though crazy world where so many say they love you, but whose hearts are closed to you, and where many are stuck on their religion and afraid to allow you develop their wings so that they can fly like a free bird. They're afraid because of fear of being punished by you. We forgive such unhealthy practices, and we breathe the very breath of God over the children of God. Amen. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday evening. I pray you have a beautiful day wherever you may be, or a good night's rest. Well earned, well deserved. And I always think of my granny from Glasgow. As a little boy, I shared her bed with my sister Eileen, who died tragically 3 years ago, my best pal. But Granny always said to us, we sleep the sleep of the just. J-U-S-T. Namaste, Shalom, Inshallah, Pax et Bonum, OmShanti. Solo di caritas, salam alaikum. May the peace of all that is sacred to you. Let your heart breathe the very breaths of God. Peace.